Alright, you ready?
Handling a 39-foot sailboat might sound intimidating, but it doesn't have to be a physical grind.
Cap off?
In fact, whenever I invite new crew aboard, I treat it as a solo trip. It gives my guests a chance to relax and enjoy the experience while helping me refine the systems and routines needed for running charters. Today, I'm breaking down the top 6 features on my Jeanneau 39i that makes it effortless to trim, tack, depower, and dock on my own without ever leaving the cockpit. Alright, let's go. So what kind of boat y'all looking for?
I would like 38 to 42. We love the center cockpits.
Okay.
I would like to have a fully encapsulated keel, no keel bolts. Skeg, either full keel or skeg hung rudder.
All right, another day going through the port. We had this guy just sneak up on me. I didn't have this zoomed in quite enough, and he was just offside the screen. And as I come through that turn, there he popped up. Thought he wasn't running his AIS. I thought he was dark, but it was my fault. So, but a good thing is we had enough space to get out of his way. So making our 30-45 minute trek going through the port here. I see all the pilot and crew boats over here.
On this trip, I was joined by Byron and Sarah, who are actively exploring the liveaboard lifestyle, and in the next 5 years, they hope to purchase a sailboat of their own. The conditions in Freeport couldn't have been better. There was a light breeze, gentle sea state, and beautiful blue skies. A couple hours into the run, Sarah admitted she wasn't feeling great. However, she was a trooper, she didn't show it, she didn't complain, and she powered through any discomfort. Whenever a guest isn't feeling 100%, the last thing you want to do is ask them to grind winches, handle heavy sheets, or run up on deck. Because my boat is rigged to be sailed short-handed or solo, there was zero stress. I bought this boat because it's set up to be handled by myself while others sit back and enjoy the experience. Here's my top 6 features that make that possible. First up, all the lines are led aft. Shorthand sailing is a lot easier and safer when all the lines run straight back to the cockpit clutches. On some traditional rigs, you still have to go forward to the mast to set halyards, manage reefing lines, and adjust the outhaul. When you're on a rolling deck by yourself, that adds risk. On my Jeanneau 39i, I can manage the entire sail plan from the safety of the cockpit. I can stay clipped in, stay behind the coaming, and keep full control of the boat without stepping foot on the side deck. Second is in-mast furling. Traditionalists love to debate slab reefing versus furling, arguing over sail shape versus weight aloft. However, when you're sailing solo, being able to set, reef, and stow the mainsail within seconds without leaving the companionway, that's next level sailing. There's no flaking, no sail ties, no lazy jacks to snag, and zero drama. Often I'll have the mainsail deployed before my crew even realizes that I've pulled it out. And if a sudden squall pops up, I can reef the main to match the wind conditions within seconds. And I dare them to argue that. Third is a mid-sized Genoa. The boat is rated to carry a massive 139% Genoa, which is great for light air, but a sail that big requires a lot of line retrieval and grinding when tacking by yourself. On the flip side, a tiny 100% working jib can lack the power and speed you need in a light breeze. This boat has a 117% Genoa, and that is truly the sweet spot. It provides just enough power to keep us moving fast, but it's also small enough that pulling it across during attack doesn't wear me out. Last month I ordered a new custom headsail from Southeast Asia Sails, and several sailors suggested I go with a maximum 139% since the furler allows for reefing, but I didn't see the need. I decided to stay with a balanced, easy tack and sail plan that I can single hand all day long without ever breaking a sweat. Fourth is a furling headsail. Bow furlers are pretty much standard equipment on almost every modern sailboat over 30 foot, but it's worth highlighting because of how easy it makes shorthanding a boat. Paired with the in-mast mainsail, I have dual furling capability. That means I can depower the vessel or adjust the overall sail area in less than a minute. If I need to slow the boat down or adjust the heel angle for the crew's comfort, I can just pull the furling line and dial in exactly how much canvas is needed for the conditions.
Showing 5.7, 5.6.
Fifth has been the addition of an electric winch. Some might call an electric winch a luxury, but when you're single-handing a 39-foot monohull, it quickly becomes a must-have, or at least that's been my experience. Tailing halyards and hoisting a main manually while trying to keep the boat pointed into the wind requires multitasking. But with the push of a button, the electric winch does the heavy lifting. I can trim the main and tension control lines while keeping my eye forward on the horizon, all without losing my breath. And lastly, number 6 is the bow thruster. A 39-foot boat carries a lot of momentum, and when you combine that with prop walk and reverse, back into a slip can be a test of your nerves. Purists will say using a bow thruster is cheating, but for me, it provides peace of mind. It gives me instant control over the bow at low speeds, allowing me to counteract crosswinds, push against currents, or correct a bad approach angle without having to rely on crew working boat hooks from the bow.
Coming about?
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright.
A little belly out this main here.
Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say.
Speaking of docking, on our way back in, I wanted to practice backing in stern to directly from the main fairway into the slip. I've been in and out of this new slip a dozen times, but the angle of my slip to the fairway leaves very little turning radius to get the boat lined up. When sailing solo or short-handed, confidence in close quarters only comes from repetition.
Going nice and slow. I got a bad habit of coming in too hot. Trying to balance how far I can be over and still start turning without hitting my bow.
Knowing how the boat responds in reverse and using tools like the bow thruster is what transforms docking from a stressful moment into a smooth routine docking. Whether you're sailing completely solo or hosting guests, setting up your boat for shorthanding makes every trip safer, calmer, and more enjoyable. A huge thanks to Byron and Sarah for coming out with me today. They were both champs, and it was great giving them a small taste of sailing as they prepare for their liveaboard journey.
Okay, now jump off when you can safely. Take this line. You're gonna go to that. Let's take a turn. You have to pull me back. Oh yeah. I always want to take a turn because if not, it'll pull you. All right, so that wasn't horrible. I think there's an advantage to that. For the first time I've ever done it, I'm okay with it. We came in and we're just a few inches off. I panicked, so I went forward just to kind of get them because we have an unprotected portion of my sugar scoop that was going to hit, and it was an unprotected part of the dock, so I went ahead and went forward, but we came back in, no problem, just letting it drift in. A little bit more wind on the other side of that guillotine, so it's settled down in here. I don't have the current as bad, so that's another thing. We have a low tide, so maybe it's in my advantage to make sure that I try to come in on low tide.
That wraps up this week. Thanks for following our journey, one adventure at a time. Join us on Patreon for bonus footage and behind-the-scenes updates. Your support there is truly what helps fuel these adventures. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'll see you next week.